Hello all. Welcome to Life Skills from Sanskrit. I am Jigar. Today we are going to talk about when we need to be straightforward and assertive. It's always good to be flexible, it's always good to be polite, and it's always good to be adjusting and make other people around us feel comfortable. But there are some times in our lives when we cannot be flexible or we cannot just be polite because it might harm us. So this couplet that we're going to talk about today tells us 5 instances where we shouldn't be very shy or very flexible. Okay, let's just jump into it. Dhana dhanya prayogeshu vidya sangrahaneshu cha ahare vyavare cha tyakta lajjah sukhi bhave. Let me repeat that. Dhana dhanya prayogeshu vidya sangrahaneshu cha ahare vyavare cha tyakta lajjah sukhi bhave. So what this couplet tries to tell us is there are 5 instances where a person should not be shy. They need to be straightforward and they need to be assertive. If you can do it, that means you are going to be a happy person. Let's break them down and have a look at them one by one. The first one they talk about here is dhan. Dhan arthat money. Whenever it comes to money, it's always good to be straightforward and make sure the person that you're dealing with understands your expectations. When you try to be too flexible when it comes to money, or you're shy and you don't give out the terms that you understood, what's going to happen is it's going to get messy. And when it gets messy, sometimes you even see relationships fall apart. So it's always good to be straightforward and assertive when we're talking about and dealing about money. Okay, let's have a look at the second one. The second one, dhanya. Over here, I'm going to look at it as business, as a trade. So whenever you're talking about your business, whenever you're trading something with somebody, again, it's always good to be straightforward and very clear before you get into any kind of agreement with them. Because if you're not sure, if there's some kind of ambiguity going on, that means you're going to end up in a messy situation, and nobody wants that. And of course, you know, if you're going to be in a messy situation, you're not going to be happy. The third one they talk about is vidya sangrahaneshu cha. They're talking about education here. They're talking about learning here. So when you're learning, and if you're not sure about something, rather than being shy, you should be asking more questions. This is more related to people who are learning, and of course those who are upgrading and updating themselves every day. So whenever you're learning something, when you're updating your knowledge, and if you've got any questions, it's always a good idea to go and ask as many questions as you can. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed that you might have more questions than other people, but if you do not ask those questions, you will be left in doubt and you might end up with incomplete education. So it's always, again, always a good idea to be straightforward and assertive when it comes to talking about education and learning processes. The fourth one they say, ahare, that means food. This is very important. You want to be assertive and you want to be straightforward about your food and your needs when it comes to food. Because if you're gonna be shy about what you want, then you might end up hungry. Or imagine that you went out for a dinner with your friends or your family and you were too shy to order the food that you wanted to eat. At the end of the day, you're just not going to be happy. So make sure you're straightforward and make sure you're assertive about your food needs. And the last one is vyavare. That means in communication, in general communication, again, whenever you're dealing with people, be it family, friends, or your co-workers or your classmates, you need to make sure that you're straightforward and you are very clear when you're talking to them, because you need to make sure that whatever you communicate is going through. So let's have a look at the couplet again. Dhana dhanya prayogeshu vidya sangrahaneshu cha ahare vyavare cha tyakta lajjah sukhi bhavet. So my take on this couplet is, a person who is straightforward and assertive while dealing with issues about money, business, education, food, and communication is a happy person. Thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned, stay positive.